Hi everyone, I'm Jenny Betz from IBPA, and I also work with GLSEN, the Gay, Lesbian, Straight Education Network, and I'm here to talk today about identity-based bullying. We hear that term a lot, but what does it really mean? So we know that with bullying, there are three main components that help us tell what's bullying and other just mean behavior. It has to be aggressive, it normally is repeated over time, and there's a power imbalance. When we think about power imbalances at school, we often think about popularity and sort of social power. We think about physical power, so who's taller or stronger, and we sometimes talk about emotional power. So with identity-based bullying, that power dynamic actually comes from our larger societal context and the bias and discrimination we see in our world. When students are targeted for bullying because of their appearance, their size, their sexual orientation or gender identity, their religion, their race or ethnicity, how much money they have, their immigration status, the languages they speak, that's when our identities come into play. So when we have bullying and the power dynamic is based on someone's identity and who they really are, it not only impacts them, but it impacts everybody else around who identifies like they do or looks like they do, and then worries that they'll be the next target. At GLSEN, I get asked all the time, why do we have to address identity-based bullying? Why do we have to address specific things for LGBT students or students of color and not just bullying in general? Well, the truth is, we can address bullying all we want, but if we're not addressing that underlying bias, we're not going to get anywhere. So in your bullying prevention programs, I highly encourage you to think about the behavior, the repeated nature, the power imbalance, and also to consider how those social identities fit into that. If we address the bias that underlies some of that identity-based bullying, that gives us a better chance to make sure that every student is safe and supported at school. I know you can do it. And IBPA and GLSEN, we have your back. So visit ibpaworld.org or glisten.org for more information and resources. Have a great day.